Welkom bij een nieuwe aflevering van de Data Discovery Channel. Het kanaal van InfoSupport waar wij je bijhouden op de datagebieden en alles wat daarop gebeurt. Vandaag zijn we op een speciale plek. We zijn op SQL Zaterdag op de Universiteit in Utrecht. En naast mij staat een hele bijzondere gast. Heel erg fijn dat hij even aan kan schuiven. Chris Testa-O'Neill. Chris, good morning. Or kunnen we het in Nederlands doen?
Mijn naam is Chris. Ik spreek Nederlands, ik spreek Engels. Sorry.
Well, much better than I do a lot of languages, so appreciate it.
No, but thanks for doing it English. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Okay, we'll switch to English then for one time.
Yeah, no problem. No.
Chris, you are working in the Cortana team. Can you tell a little bit about your role over there?
Yeah, so I work in the data science and advanced analytics team, and Cortana Intelligence is part of that. And we essentially work in the partner ecosystem, taking our products and helping our partners become more capable in the technology as they're delivering solutions to our customers. So my role is really traveling around Europe a lot, meeting up with a lot of partners. If they have a problem with a particular aspect of the technology, we help them out. We put them in the right place to learn about it and become more capable in it. And then on the other side, our partners tell us about problems with the technology itself. So we use that as feedback mechanisms to the engineering team, who can then go ahead and make enhancements or fix the products as well. So there's a lot of work at the minute in Cortana Intelligence, yeah.
Sounds as an interesting role, okay?
Yeah, it's very good. It's very good.
I, as a partner, know what Cortana Intelligence is,
Yeah.
but maybe a lot of the viewers don't. So,
Okay.
can you please explain in briefly what Cortana Intelligence is all about?
Okay, so Cortana Intelligence is a suite of technologies that you can use to perform advanced analytics. So think of Cortana Intelligence providing the platform to help you with the process of advanced analytics. So we're talking about a process and a platform. We've got technologies that can ingest data. So technologies of that include Azure Data Factory. Mm-hmm. So for those BI professionals out there, you're probably used to working with SQL Server integration services. Yes. Azure Data Factory is similar in that it moves and orchestrates the data, but in terms of user interfaces, they're different. Mm-hmm. They're different technologies. Mm-hmm. But if you're familiar with ETL processes in data warehousing, you'll probably take to Azure Data Factory pretty quickly, to be honest. And then, of course, we've got Event Hubs that really works with the streaming data. So from that perspective, if we're looking at IoT devices and being able to ingest this through and perform real-time analytics, Event Hub becomes very, very useful as a platform for that ingestion. We've got a data catalog. Mm-hmm. So we've all been on BI projects, yeah. One of the first things we'll do is a data dictionary, put all that information together so that we can go ahead and come up with our solutions. Well, we can actually do that now within data catalog, so we can document our data sources and basically provide a store where we can retrieve information about our data, so we don't have to keep doing it every time a project comes up. So it's kind of a living document of your data sources. And then, of course, we move to big data stores. So once we ingest that data, we need to store it somewhere. So we've got HD Insight, which is based on the Open Hadoop, Apache Hadoop platform. And we've also got SQL Data Warehouse to do the more relational aspects of data management, of course, Data Lake as well.
I thought you forgot it, but yeah, Data Lake as well.
I won't forget Data Lake. That's pretty important in the story. Yeah. And then we've got the analytics piece, yeah. So machine learning is the tool that's generating a lot of interest at the moment. And then we've got streaming analytics, which is doing that real-time analysis of the data from the Event Hub. And then you've got data lake analytics as well, and so forth. Now, the way we expose this is through cognitive APIs. Satya did a keynote at Ignite last week, and if you've not seen it yet, I would highly recommend it, because you're getting a really, really good feel of where we're going with cognitive APIs in the artificial intelligence space.
You are talking about the demo with the football teams, wasn't it?
Yeah, so funnily enough, Deion Sanders is pretty much of a legend, and what I found quite funny about that keynote is his suggestions for the fantasy football were exactly the suggestions I made 2 hours before. So theoretically, that makes me a bot, I think, but we're working on that.
But you are right. People who didn't see the Ignite keynote, really take a look at it. It was fun.
Yeah. And it was a bit of fun with Satya and Dion talking about the fantasy football, but there was very serious things there like what Volvo are doing with the cognitive APIs for the facial recognition, the distraction piece in there, and of course the HoloLens and the augmented reality with setting up a kitchen. This is where we're heading, yeah, and being in Cortana Intelligence right now is a very, very exciting place to be. But you've got Power BI as well. So a lot of people are using Power BI, so we can expose all that data through Power BI. And for me, the real exciting thing is we can hook Cortana into Power BI and interface with the data using natural query language, and then Cortana will bring up thumbprints of maybe reports that we've got, our data, and then we can click through to Power BI. So we've got a lot. We've got a lot to talk about, really. And there are other organizations that do this, but I think where our strength lies at Microsoft is we know the enterprise really well. We've been working with the enterprise for so many years now with on-prem solutions that I feel we've got a very strong end-to-end story with our advanced analytics.
So what I hear you saying is a lot of Azure services. What's the difference in using those Azure services, or do I buy Cortana Intelligence, or what is it? Is it a product?
That's a great question. So at the end of the day, the technologies are separate services in their own right. You don't have to use all of them. Remember what I said about Cortana Intelligence? It's a process as much as it is a platform. So the key thing that you have to start off with is the business understanding. Yeah, scoping out what is it you're actually trying to solve. And a lot of people, certainly in the BI world, are probably wondering about Cortana Intelligence and where exactly do I fit in this, as we're talking about data science so much. My background has been a traditional BI professional. Yeah, I've been doing it for years. And I'm now working in a data science team, and we've got really, really incredible people. I mean, PhD levels across the globe. And, finding my space in that team has been very straightforward with their help. And the key thing that we need to think about, really, as BI professionals moving into the world of data science, is we can really add value in a space called features engineering. Now, features engineering is basically a component that you would use in machine learning, where we present the attributes, as we would describe it in BI, the attributes of interest to a data scientist. Now, hold on a minute. Didn't we do that with source to target when we're doing data warehousing? So there's elements of skills that we've had in BI that we can bring to data science, and that's in feature engineering, where we're ingesting and preparing that data ready for preparation in a machine learning model. So the transition into the data science world can be relatively straightforward. Of course, there's a lot to learn beyond this, but that's why we're in this industry, right? We want to learn new things. But I don't think the transition into the data science world is going to be as challenging as some people expect. Now, to get back onto your question and why that's relevant, is that as a features engineer, I'm thinking about ingesting data. What do I use? Well, the Cortana Intelligence Suite provides with those separate technologies that you can pick and choose which one to use. You don't have to use all of them. So if you're doing real-time analytics, then the natural choice would be Event Hub with streaming analytics. But hold on a minute, I might want to persist that data for future analysis on descriptive analytics. Well, let's push that streaming data into Azure Data Lake, yeah? Or indeed SQL Data Warehouse. The choice is yours. So what you're doing is you're using different services to solve that business problem, yeah? So you don't have to use everything. It's part of the Azure ecosystem that you pick and choose what you need to solve your problem.
And Cortana makes it easier to choose from all the available Azure services. Is that what it does, or?
Well, Cortana's really the figurehead of all of this, right? From the perspective that, if we look at the phone here, and I haven't really got a connection to my Power BI site. The ultimate thing we want to do is type, or in our Windows 10 desktop or phone, type in a query into our mobile phone. And if it's hooked in to Power BI, and we have the ability to query our data through Cortana. So Cortana, it's a bit like looking at an iceberg. Cortana is what you see at the top, right? But underneath this is this infrastructure and platform as a service that enables us to eventually get that data on this mobile phone in Cortana. So the way you've got to see how Cortana does is it's a very visual part of the analytics process. It provides the personal digital assistant through Power BI, but there's a lot of stuff underneath that we choose to bring that data to the surface. Does that make sense?
Yeah, a little bit. Is the Q&A in Power BI, that's what you're referring to,
Yes,
is
yes.
that the real Cortana part in Cortana Intelligence?
Well, no, the Cortana part in Cortana Intelligence is if you go into a data source and go into the properties, you've got the setup for Cortana and Q&A. There is a tick box in there saying allow Cortana to use this data source. By putting that tick in there, Cortana can actually interrogate what Power BI reports you've got through that source. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
So fundamentally, we have to get all the data in there in the first place, and that's where all the other Azure services, such as event hubs, such as Azure Data Factory, Data Lake, right through, funnels through to potentially Power BI for Cortana to hook into. Does that make sense? So Cortana Intelligence is a brand, essentially, but there's serious technologies underpinning it. Okay.
Yeah, it's perfectly clear. Thank you.
No, brilliant.
If people want to start, if viewers want to experiment with Cortana Intelligence, what's the right place to start?
So there's a number of places that you can choose. So if you want to play around with machine learning, you can go to the Cortana gallery where we've got pre-built machine learning models, and you can open them up in Machine Learning Studio. Cortana's talking to me. You can open it up in Machine Learning in Studio, and you can discover how you will build up and create models within there. You do get at the moment guest access as well to Machine Learning Studio, so you can play about there. If you go to learnanalytics.microsoft.com, this was a website that was announced at Ignite a couple of weeks ago. We're starting to put content up there, video content, dates for training sessions that we have on Cortana Intelligence as well, so you can find out a bit more there. There is the data science. They've got the data science certification program in Microsoft Learning that you can go through, and it takes you through the different stages of data science. And there is a raft of resources available from Ignite. So if you watch the Ignite videos, there's plenty of materials there. And of course, go to Azure directly. Yeah, log on to Azure, go to the portal. You can fire up any of these services and you'll be up and running within minutes.
And some of them are even free, like the IoT Hub is available for free if you don't want to use that much events a day. So.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Okay, great. Great stuff. Nice hearing something from the expert about Cortana Intelligence. Thank you very much, Chris.
Thank you very much for your time, and it's good to be in Holland again. It's really, really, really good to be here. Thank you.
Good to have you here in
Cheers.
Holland. Thank you.